In this video, we're going to be watching a piece of a speech from William Donahue, where he's going to be teaching us the essence of spirituality and how to understand it in a practical, useful way, and also the things that we were never taught that we should have been taught. And I'll be pausing it at times in order to interject to make things a little bit easier to digest, but that's about all that needs to be said. And I'll let William Donahue say what it is that he needs to say. Hope you enjoy the video. Leave any questions down below and I'll answer them or make videos on them in the future. William Donahue is making a return.
And it's something that you should explore, and we'll look at it. He says, John chapter 8, verse 32. Well, in verse 31, he says, if you do what I say, if you continue in my word, then you shall know the truth. And this is the good part. And the truth will make you free. And that's that.
The truth will set you free. Something we're all very familiar with, but let's dive into what it means in this context and what he's actually trying to say. So what Donahue is saying here is, once you know the truth of the universe, nothing will ever be able to affect you the same way again. The truth he's referring to is the truth that God is a universal infinite consciousness and that he is one with us. Once you realize this reality, nothing can ever affect you how it did before, because you understand the underlying essence of everything, the underlying reality between everything.
That's a great word. Free. Free from all of the, excuse the expression, crap. Free from all of the things that have come down on your head. Free from all of the horror that you may have experienced in trying to compete and trying to be a member of this extremely competitive and warlike societies that we've lived in.
This isn't something that's only extrapolatable to war and competition. It also has to do with the fundamental core of society, how it is built on systemic brainwashing and cultural and social conditioning that makes people believe in things that are just simply other people's ideas with absolutely no evidence.
And the societies that we lived in are very competitive and very warlike, so you become free if you understand. And what is being said here? There is an intelligence that is beyond your intelligence, and it is a cosmic intelligence. It is a universal intelligence. And here's the point where you get an opportunity to tap into that intelligence, to tap into an intelligence that is beyond your ability to think. Now, what happens then?
I'm going to explain intelligence beyond your ability to think in a practical way. Intuition, we've all had it. Whether you play sports, video games, whatever the case is, whenever you know something without having to follow the exact means word for word inside of your head, that is intuition. And that is exactly what he's talking about here. It's knowing beyond our intelligence. An example of intuition, even in the everyday things that we do, when you reach out your arm to grab a cup, you don't have to tell the individual nerves and neurons where to fire, how much to fire, how much electricity, how much energy. All this stuff is done subconsciously and intuitively. And this subconscious intelligence is something that's never paid attention to by people. We never ask, where does it come from? How do we have it? These things are never looked into. These little things are proof that we are more than we appear to be on the surface.
And if this cosmic intelligence is tapped into by your desires and aspirations, your desires and aspirations are changed. Your desires and aspirations are changed to move in a harmony with nature, and then you become cosmically intelligent. You begin to understand, see? But here's the point to all of this. You want to be part of this. You want to certainly finally find out, why are you alive? You know, what is the purpose of you being alive? What is the purpose of the planet Earth being this jewel in the middle of the universe with all of the mountains and the prairies and the dolphins and all of this beauty, and then people get a certain age and drop dead? I mean, what's going on? Who can solve these things? Who knows? I mean, it's time for you to become knowledgeable. It's time for you to become mature enough.
And that's the exact purpose of this channel, to bring light to the lesser known subjects and to make them easier to digest and understand for the masses of people. I understand I don't have a huge audience right now, but I know that the truth is undefeated and undisputed. And if I keep telling it, eventually people will catch on. But The ultimate goal of this channel is to make as many people psychic as I humanly can. And if you just don't listen to me, try it for yourself, be scientific. Don't take my word for it. Prove me wrong. If I'm crazy, if I'm on here just talking nonsense, go prove me wrong.
You say, gee, I begin to understand what I exist for. I never get tired of doing that little exercise we do, in which if you look around this room, and why don't you do that? There is not one thing that is in this room that you don't know what its purpose is. Everything has a purpose. Look around the room. There's this, there's the speakers, there's the books, there's...
I just wanted to add briefly, isn't it interesting as people were addicted to naming everything and putting labels on everything on the outside world, but it's regarded as being weird or strange to look inside yourself to find the true purposes of everything inside yourself. You're looked at as weird if you meditate or look into any of this. Interesting,
there's
right?
The speakers, there's the books, there's the chimes, there's even down to a screw in this chair. You know what the screw is for. The screw is to hold the chair together. Everything has a purpose, and you know the purpose of everything, except if you look at one another, you have no idea. The most magnificent creations in the universe, you look at one another and say, what are you here for? I don't know. And that's a sin. That is a sin because nobody's ever told you. You've never been able to find out how do you define your purpose. You've never been able to find out how, and this is the point. You come into this life with no purpose. But in your life, you create purpose. You take that which is raw material, you take that raw material into that which is the creative aspect of the mind, which is in your head, and purpose is created. There's a reason starts to develop. But how do you get all of this knowledge? How do you find this out? You can't find it in the Bible. You can't find it from a teacher or a preacher. You can't find it from a church. You can't find it from a school. You cannot find it from any organization that exists on the face of the earth. And Jehoshua the Christ, Jesus as you know him, instructed you exactly. Take a look at...
This is absolutely true. I've read all types of religious books, from the Bhagavad Gita to the Tao Te Ching to the Emerald Tablets of Thoth to the Corpus Medicum, etc., etc., etc. And none of them were able to get me there because at the end of the day, it's something inside that needs to change. And no matter how many books you read or what you hear, you have to make a choice inside and a change inside. The thing that woke me up was the pyramid, but all you need to wake up is just the belief in yourself that that energy is real and that it's inside of you, and that is the only transformation you really need. But without someone to break it down to you, you'll never know it, no matter what you read.
Page 847 in the Bible. He's talking to the Bible teachers of the day. They were called lawyers because they interpreted the law. They were the Bible teachers, the Bible scholars. And what does he say about you? What does he say about me? And what does he say about your existence? Luke chapter 11, verse 52. Woe unto you, lawyers, for you have taken away what? The key of knowledge. How come you entered not in?
Something people never really looked into was that Jesus never wanted to be worshipped. He wanted to be emulated. He said, these works that I do, even greater works shall do one day. The kingdom of God is within you. All these sayings that he said. He was never meant to be deified. He wanted to be emulated, and he wanted us to all learn this stuff.
Yourselves. And them that were entering in, you hindered. It goes on today in tremendous proportions. People hear about coming to meditate. They'll say, don't do that. You'll open your mind to devils. It's evil and all of that stuff. They're hindering people from entering in themselves. And here is Jesus, Jehoshua, saying, you've taken away the key of knowledge because you don't enter within yourself. So he says the key of knowledge is by doing what? Entering in yourself. Now, I mean, you know, I didn't say it, he did. And so then you should say, you're going to learn, you're going to develop, and what does it cost you to enter in yourself? Nothing. What do you have to join to enter in yourself? Nothing. Who do you have to prove to? Nobody. Where do you have to go? Nowhere. It can be anywhere. You can sit on the john, you can lay in your car, you can do whatever you want to do. You can enter in yourself all by yourself. You don't have to prove it to anybody. But you know what? It's too much for people to do. I was telling people in New York, it is the most difficult thing in the world to discipline yourself to do nothing and spend time with yourself. You must have something to look at. You must have something to say. You must have something to think. We've had situations where people come in here, get meditating, they're sitting by themselves and they can't handle it anymore and go up the stairs and stand out. Here they are on Route 9 in Forked River. Where are they going? They're looking this way. I don't know where I'm going, but I can't stand being with myself. And then they wonder why other people don't want to hang around them. They can't deal with themselves. Hey, I'm boring the heck out of myself. I can't take this. All right. You don't want to hang around with yourself. Who else wants to hang around with you? And that's the hardest thing in the world to do, because the society says, what? You must be competitive. You must do this. You must do that. You must do the other thing. Find your hero. Well, you're such a scuzzball. You can't do it anyhow. Jesus did it all for you. Just sign the card and you'll go to heaven. And you sign the card and you still exist in hell, because nothing has changed in here. And as long as the war goes on in here, the war will go on out here. When you make peace in here, you'll make peace out here. And that's what he was trying to say. So he says, the key of knowledge is found by entering in yourself. And you saw it in the book. Everything.
I hope everybody found that knowledgeable and took something away from it. Anything you didn't understand, leave in the comment section below and I'll make sure to get to it promptly. This isn't the only time we'll be looking at William Donahue. I plan on at least doing a couple episodes per week of this guy. It's very profound. And we definitely will be looking into everything he's talking about on this channel. Stay tuned.